So here it is. We do have a sound notification as well for those people who have trouble reading as well. So the thing is, welcome to another GoDaddy Pro EMEA Meetup January session. Great speakers today. We have Vito Pileg, who will be talking about WP feedback and how he has actually saved lives in the WordPress community. So another question for you is, do you know how many lives you have saved so far in the WordPress community, and how many people actually are feeling and living better off using your product?
Well, we're just going through, because I told you before we started that we're going through a rebrand and a restructure of our website and stuff. So we're going through all of the reviews and testimonials from users, and it's just incredible, like just seeing all of the impact that small company can do for the community. We're just like 18 months old since we launched the product. After having the same struggles in an agency, I started as a freelancer to an agency. So yeah, it's super rewarding and humbling to see like how we can really affect people's lives. It's insane.
This is awesome. I mean, I'm very, when I first saw the work that you do, the masterpiece that you guys came up with, I was so astonished because, I mean, communication has many barriers other than just language or perhaps ability to see, hear, or anything else.
Yeah.
There is also this point of details. And what you guys actually came up with is an amazing idea how details can be easily communicated. How much time did it take you guys all together to come up with the product as it is at the moment?
So it was kind of, I had an agency in London with 12 guys, and I wanted to keep growing. I wanted to keep scaling the business, and I was looking for a way of doing that. So, through an agency to grow fast, it's very, very hard. So I was even looking into running like courses, launching courses, and all of those kind of stuff that people look when they want to continue to some kind of a product. And this was just, while I was really focusing on what can I do with this, the clients were just doing my head in. And so I just reached out to one of the developers in my team. I told him, listen, how about we do some kind of an InVision tool, like InVision, but inside the website? I think it's going to save us a lot of headaches. And he's like, yeah, it's a pretty cool idea. So we built it like a week and a half, very scrappy, no kind of, it worked only on our stack. If you install one more plugin, the whole thing breaks. But it worked for our clients, and it was just like life-changing for us. And so we started building this for outside, and we're still building it. I don't think we'll ever stop. It constantly evolves. People are requesting features. Pretty much 75% of all of the new stuff that we're building is just listening to the customers, listening to the users, and a lot coming from the support. I know Igor is on Elemental support, so I imagine it's the same thing for you guys. A lot of the ideas are not even yours. They're just users that need something. And if you hear that again and again, then sure,
Yeah, exactly. We actually have a feature request list, and every ticket that comes to support, that is a feature request, we just add it to the feature request. And if it's something that's more and more requested, our developers implement that in the next version. So yeah, it's really powerful when the feedback loop is.
Yes. And this is something that I think that is, the WordPress community especially has like an edge around that, because, you're working with people that are developers themselves, designers themselves. So it's not that they're giving you suggestions like random folks, might give you, they give you really smart ideas that you can implement. Yeah. So a lot is coming from there, and that's why, like Elementor for our product as well, I don't think it can never be done. I think even Bill Gates said this, if he would have waited for Windows to be ready, it would never been out,
That's true. I wanted to ask you, who are the clients of WP Feedback or the rebranded?
So it's freelancers and agencies. that want to take their business seriously, basically, to just take things to the next level. But specifically working with WordPress freelancers and agencies. In 18 months, we have a little more than 5,000 agencies and freelancers that are using the tool. Hundreds of tasks, like I told you, a little more than 100,000 tasks we completed the past year, or they completed this past year. Tens of thousands of websites, all for a pro-only kind of solution, that is running.
And how, I mean, when you guys started to come up with this project and the idea, did you know that you were going to have such a great product in the end? Were you aware of the glory that is actually waiting
Right.
in the end, you know?
To be honest, it was a total surprise. So like what we brought in, like I said, we built it just from a need for ourselves. And then when it worked, I was like, all right, let's try and see if other people are experiencing the same pain point, dealing with clients, gathering content, approving the designs, getting on the same page with people that are not as savvy as us. And so I went out and I did a survey. I posted this in all kinds of groups. I even spammed the Elementor group with one post over there to just get some intake from people. And within a day, we had 1,300 people signed up saying, when is it out? And so I knew that we had something pretty special just from a few screenshots that we shared around. And it just became like basically 18 months in, it's the way to do it. If you go to to other when the word camps, or now when it comes to all of those Zoom calls that people are doing all over the world, whenever this comes up, WP Feedback somehow is presented as the ultimate solution for doing it. So it's crazy, it's crazy. 2 years ago, like I told you, I was just running a small agency in London. It's insane.
So what's the plan before we move into the whole plugin and how actually people can benefit? What's the plan? I mean, what can you announce? I mean, what values does WP Feedback actually gives to users?
Right. So when it comes to values, we have 5 very defined values that we implemented within the company from the beginning. And we make sure that everything that we do is working around that. First of all, being innovative in the way that we approach things, not accepting the reality as it is, because a lot of us are coming into this industry from the designer or the developer kind of a mindset, and not realizing that you need to actually build a business around it. It's not enough to just being able to build a website. You need to collaborate with clients, hire people, work with subcontractors, churn out proposals, and all of the admin stuff that happens around being a business that we never considered. Managing a project, being a project manager is a profession that people learn for years, like being a developer is. But yet all of us just jump into it, expect things to work out on their own, and in most cases it just doesn't. It's just kind of, there's a lot of bottlenecks that we're making the same mistakes. So innovation and looking at things from like not accepting the reality as it is, but trying to flip ideas on their heads and see what we can do that would make sense. And you'll see that a lot on this presentation. The other thing that we do is being communicative, and that was just like an intuitive value that we added because of the nature of the platform, which means that we're listening to our users. And like I said, a lot of the ideas of what we're building is coming from needs of users. We're probably not going to build exactly what they said, but we're going to take the problem that they're trying to convey to us and create a solution that will apply to as many people as possible when it comes to basic stuff in WordPress, like for example, sharing your password with a subcontractor. So it's a really annoying thing to do, and especially when you have a bunch of passwords on a single website, then just the process of going to WP admin, finding the right one, landing you right in the WP dashboard kind of screen, then you need to go back to the home page. So it seems minuscule, but a lot of those things together are saving thousands of clicks throughout the build by the processes that we're implementing. Like, when we get a picture, when we get an image from a client, it goes usually into our inbox, email inbox, right? Or inside the Dropbox. Then we need to log into Dropbox, download to our computer, take it to tiny PNG or Smoosh or whatever, minify the image, download back to our computer, go to the website, upload it. So we created like, boom, one click, it's there, minified and automated. And so there's all kinds of these productivity hacks that we're implementing, and that's a lot coming from ideas or problems that the users are bringing in. Another thing that I love to, that I really kind of strongly advise everyone to implement in their business is eating your clients' complications. So you see, it all connects together, but we're basically trying to take the idea of what is on your table that is disrupting your day or that is creating complication within your day, and how can we completely consume this problem from our end. It's either through technology or through training, or just talking to our users with our coaching sessions that we do every week, and just discussing those kind of problems. You guys are doing it right now with this session. Yeah, eating your client's complication. I just love the concept of this thing. What else we have? I forgot the last value, but these are the main ones that we're really,
look, even this magic, what you mentioned so far, I think it's opening the appetite actually to see what are we talking about. So without further ado, you might share your screen and actually start the presentation. I'm sure that everybody say.
Yeah, we can have people come and joining in as they come. And what I would like us to do is I would like to take you guys through a process of delivering a website project. And these are all statistics and numbers that we've gone through with thousands of users in the community to see how can we optimize a website project delivery as well as support collaboration. So the topic is basically how to deliver projects fast. And through that concept, we're going to see how to remove a lot of the stress that we have in our day-to-day, and all of the frustration of trying to figure out what the hell the client is talking about. What is this guy want? You know, the nephew of the cousin that leaves feedback or that looked at the website and said something else. So all of that is going to be gone just by understanding how to deliver the perfect project. So this is what we're going to cover. We're going to talk about the components, the different components that every standard website project has in our space. And then we're going to identify the main 3 bottlenecks that get projects stuck. And I'm sure that you guys are going to agree about each one of them, and you're going to identify projects that you've run yourselves that have the same kind of struggles. And then we're going to see the 5 biggest challenges of delivering projects as a whole and how they all come together. And finally, we're going to see how to drop 80% of your project delivery time. And I know that it seems kind of ambitious, 80%, but you're going to see exactly how this is going to happen. So first of all, let me ask you, and maybe we can even utilize the chat for this. Let me open the chat. Can I? Oh, this is running the, oh yeah, I got it now. How long does it take you guys to build a basic website? So when I'm saying a basic website, I mean a standard small business site, 5 to 10 pages. Let's say start to finish with a client. How long does it usually take, or how long does it take right now? Let's see in the comments. Let's get engaging, guys. Let's see, right? We have 2 days to 1 week for Devin. That's really fast, Devin. Well done. With the client, 2 days to 1 week with the back and forth and all of that. That's amazing. Let's see what else we have. Right, up to 2 weeks, depends on the graphic acceptance, but 2 weeks to 1 month. I used to take 2 weeks to 2 months, right? Yeah, it used to take 2 weeks to 2 months. So we're gonna, you're gonna see what you've done, Devin, and I'm sure that a lot of the stuff that I'm gonna show you here is exactly what we're trying to scrape as well. So as we're asking the question, we've got 14 days to 21 days. the standard website, the standard time that it takes to build a website from the community is about, you know, a month, as clients are slow at responding, right? That's what Jenny is telling us here. Usually it's between 4 to 8 weeks. That's the standard kind of thing. Sometimes you would even say 5 to 8 weeks, which is the average of delivering a basic 10-page website with a client on board, including gathering the content, getting the design approved, getting them to look through it, you know, all of those back and forths that are usually just you sitting and waiting. But then, if you don't have the client, how long will it take you to build that same 10-page website on your own? Let's say you have everything that you need, and now you need to just do the work, dive in and do the work. How long is it gonna take? Let's see on the comments. Right, we have 1 day to 1 professor. So Devin is super fast, guys. Even so, the only thing that clients are delaying is like a couple of days. Devin, yeah, we need you to do the presentation next time, or we're gonna tap into your knowledge as well towards the end of this. I would love to share what I did to get there. It was not easy. Yes, I can understand. Right, so we have 3 days. Depends on look. From this, so I'm talking a standard website, you know, like you'd have a hero section, then those 3 icons, then a few left to right items with an image and some text, you know, that's the kind of standard stuff that you would see on most business websites nowadays. So we have 3 days, one day to 1.5 days, right? And yeah, the standard that we would hear from users around this is basically around 5 days when you consider everything, pushing this out, doing a test around yourself as well, making sure that this is thing. So 6 weeks average versus 5 days, right? So there's an 84% difference between this and that. We basically have 1 week to 5 to 8 weeks. Now, what is happening here? Where does the rest of the time goes? And we're talking like solid weeks of additional time that is being added to a project that seems basic, because when we do it on our own, yeah, 1 week, 5 days, we're getting 3 days here with those some of the faster folks on the call, which is awesome. So what is happening between this and that? This is exactly what we're going to try and tackle and identify on this call. So before I kind of dive in and just kind of introduce myself for a second. So my name is Vito, and I'm the founder of WP Feedback. I've started as a freelancer building websites literally from the back of a van when I was touring the world with a rock band back in the day, back in my 20s. And from there I grew, you know, after we turned 30 and it wasn't cool to live in a van with 4 smelly guys anymore. We kind of put that chapter to rest, and I started building an agency in London. Within 3 years, we've grown to a team of 12 team members in the city. And from our struggles, we built a tool that is called WP Feedback that is now evolving over the upcoming week. Actually, this is a very like right in the middle time to do this presentation, because later this week, we're doing a full rebrand to celebrate our version 2.0. And we're going to be called Atarim, and we're moving from a feedback plugin to what we already are, which is a full-on agency management system. And right, so now that you guys know who I am, let's look at the components of a website project. And when I was surveying and talking to, over 2020, I was talking to a little more than 150 agency owners to walk through 1 hour each, walk through their workflows on top of surveying a lot of other users. I think that, yeah, I just saw George. I don't know if it's our George, our friend that was joining us. But basically, from most of the projects, this is the standard flow that you would see. So we would start with getting on a call with the client, sending out a proposal, getting paid some kind of an initial deposit, and then move on to a discovery. Sometimes the discovery would move over to before, but in most cases it's done after. After that, if it's done right, there's gonna be some kind of a sitemap stage. Which is a great stage to identify a lot of those, a lot of the scope creeps that usually turn up at a later stage if this stage was not done. And then we have wireframes, prototypes, development and design. Then we're going to the launch. And finally, we're going to try and get the client on an ongoing care plan for ongoing maintenance. Now, and this is kind of, there is a direct correlation as to how long people do this. So you would see freelancers that are doing this for a short while, skipping stages, and basically just removing those 2 steps from here, especially in the page builder era that we're living in. People would go directly from discovery over to development, but then they would learn sometimes that the client just didn't mean that at all. And you just wasted a lot of time just trying to build something that wasn't what they pictured, wasn't what they had in mind. And then you're going back to the drawing board. So then when you see agencies that are a little more established, you will see that they will start adding sitemap, and then finally they will start adding wireframes and prototypes. And because they understand that this is actually, even though it's an additional step, it's actually reducing time if you're doing it right. So let's see in the comments a little bit, does that make sense? Do you guys have any additional steps that I skipped here? Give me some confirmation, some validation in the comments. Looks good from Devin, right? Devin is running through those things in 2 days. Amazing. Let's see what else we have. We have a few more that I knew about, right? Right. So we have probably you're jumping beyond the sitemap, beyond the wireframe. You're going from discovery or even directly from the call over to here. Very interesting and useful. That's awesome, George. And great. So this is kind of the standard layout that we would see. Now, let's look at the main 3 bottlenecks that get projects stuck. And this is like based on level of severity. So it starts from gathering content, and then it goes to design, getting the design approved. And finally, the support, even though it's green here, it should be like a lighter shade of orange. You know, it's not really green in most cases. And there's good reasons for each one of those issues. Right, so let's start with gathering content. I'm gonna ask you guys, where do you gather content, or how do you ask your clients for the content that you need to actually deliver the project? So if you're looking at this map, on these stages, when is the time that you tell the client, please, I need the content to get started, or to do this, or to get to the next stage? Let's see in the comments a little bit. When are you guys asking for the content to build that website from the client? And I would also love to know, right, as soon as possible, right? That's from Ego. So basically right here, during the discovery, is that a first statement? When you do the initial call, you tell them, listen, we need the content, please go work on the content, right? At the beginning, during the green light call, right? You already say that. Once they say they're ready to start the site, ready to make the deposit, then you're gonna push for the content. This is the problem. Most clients deliver the content as late as possible, even if we asked at the beginning, which is very true. Massiege, did I pronounce it right? I hope so. After they had signed off the layout with dummy copy and images. Charles, that's awesome. And we're gonna see exactly why I would agree with you, Charles, here. But that is true that most people will push for getting the content as soon as they can. And even more than that, we would try and add kind of clauses to our agreement, threatening the client that if you don't deliver the content, because we know that it's such a massive kind of pain point for us, we'd add clause, if you don't deliver the content within time, we're just gonna finish the project and you still need to pay the whole thing, right? We're basically rolling the responsibility over to the client to do that, because we don't trust them. Even before we started, we don't trust them to actually complete the task that was given to them. But then after they have signed off a layout, right, and then let me ask you, how long do you give them? So when it comes to the content, how long do you expect this to happen? Maybe there isn't even a definition. Yeah, we have no deadline. So like there is no end to it. You tell them, I need the content. And in a lot of times, this is where the conversation kind of ends. once I get a deposit, I sit on it based on them. Right, you just kind of like bother them, shake them until something comes out, right? Which is I know I've been there myself. Send them tutorial how to edit the content. So when they edit the content, it means that you already have some kind of lorem ipsums on the page itself. But again, we're expecting them to go in, log into the website, know how to use WordPress. We know that we didn't know how to use WordPress straight out of the gate. It takes some time, it takes some training. I try to set goals with delivery dates, but they often miss the date, right? Max 1 week from George. That's great. So a lot of times what we see is that this is a process, whether we tell them, usually what people give them is between 1 to 4 weeks. That's the kind of span that most agencies and freelancers would agree to receive the content. But, we all know that in most cases, there is no time span. It just happens sometime during the project if we're lucky. And sometimes the deadline comes and we're still waiting for that for the content of the homepage. I had a client that we waited for a little more than a year just to get the about page from her. It was insane, and that included like weekly follow-ups, and it's every time she had like different excuses, and at some point she was like, I just had a baby, and we started the project before she was pregnant, just so you kind of see the insanity behind this. So basically this is usually what happens. It goes through here until at some point it's like, okay, I need to get this done. So here's the website, whether you have the content or not. Usually that either push the client into action, or you just try and move on to the next project or so on. And that kind of stays on the shelf sometimes for, like I said, years even. Would you guys agree with that? Yes, we have Charles saying yes, right? So so
I'm
sometimes
sure you
it
have
happens, sometimes it
undivided.
doesn't, but it really is like a very, sometimes it took a lot of time, right? So that's the first struggle that we have, and then we're getting into approving the design, which in most cases, of course, you need to approve the design only when you have something to showcase. So that problem starts here when it comes to wireframes, prototype, and of course, once you're actually presenting pages inside the browser. And the main struggles that we're seeing here is, first of all, a lot of times clients will come in with stuff that they never talked about, they never mentioned before, or you're building like a small e-commerce website that was supposed to have like just 3 featured products, and then you realize that they actually have 300. They forgot the 2 zeros that they need to add to this, and then you need to restructure the whole thing because it's a completely different website, a 300 product website or a 3-product website. Or another thing is that, you would present the website and there's like, where's this quotation form that I had in my mind, but I never told you about, or we actually don't have any reviews and you added the review section and all of those kind of stuff. We should know how much serious is the client, right? I'm not sure I get what you're saying, George. Give us a clarification about the comment. But basically what we get a lot of times is scope creep at this stage, which is it's basically inspiration striking within the client. And essentially it's a good thing if it comes in the right time, because if you know about additional features, additional functionality that the client wants from the website, you can just quote it. You can add it to the project, but a lot of times it just comes in at such a later stage of the project, just around here, just when we're just about to launch the website, then we have like 10 more pages that needs to be built that was never discussed or stuff like that. So scope creep is the biggest problem with when we're gathering feedback. But another issue around this is, first of all, the clients don't really know how to provide you the feedback in an efficient way. So for example, they would try to describe the menu items and they would call them buttons. And then you're kind of like, okay, there's like 7 buttons on the page itself. You would never even consider that they're talking about the menu items on top. or they would talk about an icon and call it an image, or they would talk about a background color and call it an image. So a lot of times it's just us looking at the website, looking at the email or the text message or wherever it came, and try to kind of like, what's going on? So, and that is basically happening because we live in a different reality for most of our clients. You know, it's like when you go on and you talk to a lawyer, they would talk in all of these legal terms and stuff like that, and you don't know anything about that. So we have our own lingo, our own language that we are used to. We know what a hero section is. We know what a footer is. You know, some stuff that seems very basic to us are like completely foreign to most of our clients. And even the ones that you're building the second website to, because I know that when I first started, the first projects as a freelancer were people that were building their first website, right? So they were like completely clueless when it comes to how to build a website, what is required of them, but also the value that they can get from an online platform like a WordPress website. But then even the ones that were doing the redesign, the last time that they built a website was 3-4 years ago when they built the last iteration of that website. So of course it's not in their day-to-day like it is in ours, but then a lot of times we expect it to be. We expect them to know how to take a screenshot, annotate this, send this over to us, how to remember to copy the URL of the page that they're talking about, right? And to include that in the message, or even now we're kind of like going into the support struggles, which are very much the same. You would get like 3 words in an email, and then you look at the website for an hour trying to figure out what does those 3 words mean, where is that problem is, and all of those kind of this, which creates additional back and forth, creates what we call in communication developed traffic. So developed traffic is like you know, like scratching your ear like this, right? So instead of you going straight to the point, you need, instead of going from A to B, there is like 7 different steps along the way that are just useless. They have no value to anyone, but you have to go through them. For example, in our context, you get a message from a client, then you go back to them and say, "Can you please tell me which page you're talking about?" So they tell you, "Yeah, it's the main page." So like, "Oh, okay, the home page," but in their mind, the main page might be the main product page or something. So then there's another back and forth, and then you tell them, "Okay, but it's the button, right?" "Yeah, it's the button." But there's like 5 different buttons on the page, and they all look good to you. So apparently, after 7 back and forths and 2 weeks of something that should have taken like 2 minutes, you're figuring out that they're using Internet Explorer from the 90s, you know, and they're basically like using like one of those, it's not even an LCD screen that they're looking at, it's one of those old screens, right? So like all of these things happen all the time. Which page you are on mute? Am I on mute? Ah, right. Yeah.
No. I was just
page you're on
no.
mute. Right? That's exactly.
No, I was just making a comment. Nothing else.
Now you're on mute, Maya.
I was just making a comment about it,
I can't hear you at all.
which page most probably is the thing that everybody is asking similar way, like you're on mute, you know, because which page you were thinking and which part of it did you think of this or that? So yeah, that's a very common question.
Yes, and that is what is the 87% of our day is. It's not doing design work, it's dealing with those back and forth and like trying to get on the same page, trying to understand what people are talking about, which is crazy. So that's what's going on. But when it comes to support, there's also another psychological reason to this, because when we're doing a project, and we all know this from being business owners ourselves, all of us, when we have a project within our business, it gets our focus, right? We allocate some time to it. We try to do a good job at collaborating and communicating with the other people that we need to collaborate with, or, you know, we give this the attention that it deserves. But then after the project is done, we already have like 7 other things that are on fire within our business that needs sorting out. And so the previous guy that we're working on, the ongoing work, which is what we have here, then he's getting like this fragment of our attention compared to how it was before. And then this issue is even being it's being enhanced a lot more than instead of getting like, if we manage to squeeze a screenshot from a client, we can forget about it by the time we get to the care plan, because he's gonna just text us on his phone and you get this sorted while he's dealing with the other fires in his own business. So I get it from their point of view, but a lot of times we don't accept it and we try to push the client, and I need more information. You know, it's just crazy that you're giving me just those 2 words, right? But it makes sense if we really think about it from our point of view. So now that we've saw those kind of main 3 bottlenecks, we understood the problems that are common to the entire industry and essentially what is causing them. I want to show you a solution that will basically fix all of these problems together and create and remove those 80-some% of your project delivery time and your support. Essentially, we're talking about 3 hours a day on average that we're reducing from our users' lives. So I'd like to introduce you to WP FeedBack, and I can see we have a survey here, and we still have a few people that never heard of us before. Some have heard of it before. We have like 67 to 33%. I can also tell you that we've done some surveys around the efficiency of those items. What we found when it comes to, I'm just going to go back here. Gathering content, a whopping 79% of 1,000 people that we asked, 79% said it's hard to gather content, as opposed to 83% of users of WP FeedBack said it's easy. Same thing for when it comes to design approvals. We're talking, I think that was like around 67%. I have the presentation here somewhere. Let me see if I can pull this up. Approve designs. Yeah, we have some interesting stats. 72% said it's hard to approve designs. 70% that use Atarim, which is the new name that we're launching next week, said it's easy to approve designs. And we're going to see this stats consistent with all of the other ones. And I'm working with the other 30% to get this to 100 over the upcoming year. But most cases it's implementation and not kind of understanding the standard flow of how a website should go by. Right, so let's see how this happens. So this is our dashboard, and this is the agency dashboard. Here you have all of your website nested in one place, and the purpose of the platform is super simple. You just want to get everything to green. And you can see that this one, I have 18 pending tasks on the website that we're building right now. That's the rebrand, and we're using our own tool, and I have 18 stuff to do on this one. This is a live client with 1 pending task. This is our e-commerce website with 5,000 products. Basically the trigger for building this tool was Charles, the guy that is the site owner for this project, where he told me he sent me a text message saying the add to cart button is missing, right? And this is just a good example. The add to cart button is missing. Massive website, 5,000 products that are on here. And you go to each one of the products, we just kind of start scanning the website, and we can see the add to cart button on all of those different pages. 3.5 hours later, and really a whole lot of headaches, and the guy is pissed off because he's standing in his tea shop. He has a tea shop, and he's standing there and he's kind of like he's just texting me back. It's the button. I'm looking at it. I can't see the button. It's not there, you know. And but we're also looking. We're sending him screenshots to prove to him that we can see the add to cart button. Eventually, it only was 1 product out of the 5,000 that ran out of stock, and WooCommerce just hid the add to cart button because it wasn't in stock. So all of this headache and kind of nonsense was just like a result of those complications of not being on the same experience. Right, so if I'm going to scroll down, I'm going to take you to this demo site. And you can see that here we have our inbox, and every message that comes in from a different from a different request is automatically listed here with an automated screenshot and the message itself. I've attached a different icon to use here, right? So we know exactly what the client, right? We want to change this. And 1 click, it's going to take me directly to that website, log me in automatically, scroll down to where the task is, and pop it open for me. We'll see that in a second once the page loads. Boom. Yeah. change this to this. That's it. That's the entire kind of concept of getting us on that same page with the client. Also, we're collecting the screen size, the browser that they're using. And even through that screenshot, we can already know what kind of mechanism is being used by the client. My headphones are acting out here. We already know what kind of mechanism is used by the client. And how do they do it? They just go around the different pages, click the plus icon, and choose any element within the website to leave a comment or where the problem is. So for example, change this to this, right? Gathering the content. And of course, we're gonna have one more here. For example, change this image. Uploading the image, we'll upload it directly into the media folder so that it's not, we don't need to do all of those back and forth of trying to figure out where that image are and all of that. Let me just drop this one in here from our old offices. And boom, and now it's inside the media folder. All that is left for me is to edit this page and to use that image. Now, if I'm going to take you through the stages. So now we saw the very basic functionality. Of course, there's stuff like time tracking, that one-click login, tagging. We have the Kanban boards that will allow us to get an overview of every single project to see what needs doing, what is currently being worked on. And our process is basically, like I said, just getting everything to green. So getting everything to this side. And this is the change the image that we just created a couple of seconds ago. Can you send me the text? This is another one that we just created a few seconds ago, and I'm gonna mark this as complete and so on, right? A lot of other cool stuff like the team management. If you're running a team, you can really track each of their activity to see what they're doing in real time. This came in very handy. It gives you like these godlike abilities to see what the team has been worked on for any given moment. As well as not needing to share any logins or anything like that with them, because once they click, they go directly inside. Now, I want to take you through that. Now that we saw like a quick intro to the platform, I want to take you through those stages so we can see what we're suggesting and how you can implement those things with our tool or without. It's going to be a lot more efficient, but the mindset is what matters of how to deliver the project fast. So we've done the discovery session. And after that, we're going to move on to the architecture. So I know that a lot of you guys don't do a sitemap stage. And I also know that most of the reasons why people don't do it is because we feel that it's time consuming, that it's going to take a lot more, it's going to take just more time out of the project. And why do I need that? You know, I can just skip this stage, you know, but really it's not for us. It's to allow us to take the client through a natural learning curve from the beginning of the project until the support, so that by the time they go from here to here, they are trained enough to give us what we need at any given moment. So again, the content, we're not going to ask it for here. Well, let me go back to this so it's nice and clean. We're talking discovery, and from the discovery, we're going to move on to the sitemap. I'm going to show you a method of building a sitemap, and everything that you'll see here. It's not that you're going to go to a different platform to create a sitemap and then copy this into, or download this as an image, and then you also need to create those pages in WordPress. Our mindset of how we're delivering projects is that every step is built on top of the previous one. So you're going to see that throughout the process, that everything that I'm going to show you is basically just preparing us for the next stage. So we're not doing any additional work, but we're still getting the client with us down this rabbit hole, which is website building or delivering a website project in a way that makes sense for them. And let's look at what a sitemap looks like. Right, so we have a sitemap implemented into the website. So the first thing after the discovery call is we're already going to deploy WordPress so that we can already have a platform where we're going to be working. That could be, of course, it should be some kind of a development or staging area where you can, where the domain is not the main domain, so you can work freely on there. But then how did I create this sitemap? This is a WordPress menu, which means that I created the pages inside the WordPress website, and I just laid them out in a way that are a lot more communicative to a client that is starting off the project. It gives them the ability to look at what we're going to be building from the bird's eye view, so that they can really agree on the different elements before we build anything inside those pages. So for example, a lot of the stuff that we're going to discover on this stage is, for example, I don't have a refund policy. Sure, no problem. This is an upsell for us to do, or here is a contact that is going to help you with that, or whatever. Or I don't have a privacy policy, right? I don't have one. We can install Termageddon, $100 a year, and we're sorted. Or we're going to find out that they need a booking form at this stage on the contact us area. Or that they don't have any reviews, or again, we talked about the products. We're actually going to have 500 products instead of 5, right? All of those kind of things. So the point of this stage, it's not really for you to communicate the map of a website, because I would even argue that if we're looking at this flow, most of us, pretty much 2 years after we're going into this profession, have the ability to mock up a website in our minds right after the stage. So we talk to the clients for 15 minutes on the phone, and we can already see a picture. Oh, okay, this guy, he has this type of business. It's a real estate business. So I can have I will show exactly how I created this, Jenny. So what I'm saying is that in most cases, we already know that this website is going to have this and that amount of pages. If this guy needs an e-com website, maybe he needs some kind of a membership functionality. We need to install some kind of a learning management system inside, or, we know those things straight away when we did those 15 minutes call. They have no idea. So a lot of the stuff that we're building here is for them. And now I'll show you how I did this one, Jenny, here. So this is a basic Elementor page. Of course, you can do this with any page builder. I added the client logo up here. If I don't have I can find it on Google or the old website, or if not, I'll just write their name. But that creates a sense of belonging to, all right, we're starting. This is now your website, where it's gonna say like Jenny, right, at your agency's name. So it already kind of frames this as this is where we're starting to work. And you're going to see this throughout the process, is that we're not going to send the client anywhere else, which is, again, one of those insane things that we're doing. An average agency or an average a project takes the client between 7 to 15 different tools that in the span of a few weeks. And this is just insanity, because if you really think about it, if you think of an accountant that would take you between 7 to 15 different platforms within the first 3 weeks of your relationship, you're going to be pissed off like your clients are in some of those cases. To us, it makes sense because these are our tools, but introducing them to Dropbox, which some of them never went to, then introducing them to Google Docs, which some of them never used, and then also using emails, Zoom, WhatsApp, send me a message on Facebook. But then for this stage, I need you to approve this on XD, because I built my designs on XD, or here is a Photoshop image. Can you please annotate this? So we have screenshot tools. And then we have all kinds of other kind of like third-party platforms that we're taking them, like site mapping and all of those kind of stuff. It's crazy. And the weirdest thing is that in most cases, the website is not one of the 7 to 15 tools that we're introducing them. So we're taking them everywhere apart from what they paid for, which is the website itself. But WordPress is so powerful that the entire collaboration with the client needs to happen inside the website itself from their point of view. This will give them the ability to get familiar with this system and understand the value of what they purchased when they went into this project from the get-go, which means that if they understand the value, you're going to see a lot more upsells. And I'm sure that a lot of you guys can agree that the clients that use the website spend more money on it because they can see the value and they're actually getting the value from it. So they want to invest more into it, as opposed to the ones that never wanted to touch the website and you just agreed to keep the shoes in the shoebox. And you're guarding the shoebox. If you want to touch the shoes, you come to my shop and I'll open the box so you can have a look, have a peek at your shoes, but you can never wear them ever. If I'm the only one holding them. And this is just insane if you really think about it in layman's terms. And I did the same thing for years. Right, so we're bringing them into this. So like I said, Jenny, basic title and the text here, some kind of a line. And this is a plugin called Slick Sitemap, which you can find for free on the WordPress repo that builds sitemaps from WordPress menus. So everything that you see is basically two menus, this one and this one. So I'm gonna go even here so you see how it's structured. My internet today has been killing me. I don't know what's going on. You see, this is the footer one that you see on the top, this guy. And then I'm gonna go to the sitemap, which is this. Some are pages that I really need. Some are just custom links that I created to illustrate a point and to communicate visually what they need to build. Okay, next up, now when it comes to collaborating on this, which is the first step. So looking back into our flow here, one thing that a lot of people don't think about, and even when I was talking about this now, I haven't mentioned this at all, is that each one of these steps require a client touch point. So a lot of times we would focus on what we need to do, but not really on the fact that it needs to be communicated out. Someone needs to work alongside with us. So it's not only for us to move between those stages, it's for them to move alongside us throughout these stages. So we're carrying them with us from one stage to another. And if they are gonna just lag behind, the whole thing is gonna collapse. So we want to make sure that we are aware that there is a client touch point and empower them with a way that they can actually work with us at that particular stage. So again, if we're going back to this, click the plus icon on the right, choose any element on the sitemap to leave a comment. So what we did here is we introduced them to this tool for the very first time. And this is going to be the only tool that they're going to use from the beginning of the project, or carrying them over to the support in a way that just doesn't confuse them at all. It's super intuitive. Just click this and you see it's like marked in red. And maybe they will ask you, what are the sections? Maybe if they're a little savvy, right? Sections that you will place on the homepage. So you can have a discussion around some of those things instead of them being discovered after you already built pages and created the design and all of those kind of stuff, right? Or they might tell you that we actually have 27 team members at the moment and we're hiring more. So what I would do is, instead of building a static page, if I know this, I would create a custom post type for them to keep adding team members on their own. Now that I know this, right? And of course, a lot of the other examples. We don't need a blog. That's fine. I don't have any reviews and so on. So far, are you guys with me? Let's see some comments. I'm gonna move on to wireframes. Yes, Devin, I thought you're back. That's great. Thought you had to go. Yeah, but it's great. Awesome. Well done. Great. So we have Igor, 100% awesome. Let's move on to the wireframe and prototype. So a lot of the things that happen here as well, a lot of times we would skip this step because we think, oh man, now I need to go to Photoshop and create those blocks and squares and whatever every time for the different projects, and it's just annoying. And like I don't even want to use Photoshop or any other third-party kind of tool. Like it's just why am I doing this? So again, it's not for you. It's so that we can take the client through a natural learning curve. First, we gave them an overview of what we're going to build through the sitemap that took minutes, right? We're going to go through timelines in a minute, but now we're going to cover the sections. But to create this type of sitemap, I think we can all agree that it's going to take just a few minutes. Right, so some of our clients didn't want the wireframe prototype because they had problems with reading those low fidelity images. I agree. And it's not their reality. They look at this and like, what the hell? Is this how he's going to design the website? Just squares and, and like random stuff, and looks weird, right? So I agree. And I'll show you like how we want to take them to that stage. Was it Slick Sitemap? Slick Sitemap is the name of the free plugin, Jenny. And it's a rather old plugin. All that it does is a very basic functionality that it just adds this HTML based on the menu. So it's just a shortcode. So I know that it hasn't been updated in a couple of years. I've been using this on a few hundred websites. All of our users are using this day to day. You know, and again, you can drop this out after the project is complete, because again, we are before the project, you know. So if you're concerned about stacking too many plugins, I get that. Delete it once you finish this stage. Again, in most cases, you would build them from scratch every single time. That's how these tools are built. They give you like a canvas, and then you need to start dragging as the builders. It adds very little value, or it seems like it adds very little value, because we're not going to be adding any additional, because we need to rebuild it on the next stage. We do all of this work, send this out to the client, and then it's gone. You know, we still need to build that structure in the browser. So what we did is we flipped the idea on its head, and we created our wireframe template that is provided with every license. Where was that? Let me go. Wireframes. Yeah. Oh, because of Jenny. Jenny, you threw me off. Wireframes. Okay, so so what you're seeing here is already the end result of creating this wireframe, and you can see that I have like a very nice basic homepage that is designed to have no design. It's nice enough for the client to understand what we're talking about and to see that we have some design skills, but very much like it's gonna be very weird if the client will think that this is gonna be their end result at this stage. I'll show you, this is already the end page. So let me show you the full template. So you see the workflow of creating them. The idea is that we have one single template that is being used for the entire project, for every project, for every page inside the project. And then instead of building the whole thing from scratch every single time, we pre-created 3 to 5 sections of every standard section that you would find on a modern website. So your process is to just delete what you don't want. So for example, I have 3 types of headers, 5 types of hero sections here, right? Maybe like this, maybe text on the side with the image. And then I have those icon sections, right? That almost every website in the world has. Maybe 3, maybe 4, maybe on the side, maybe like this, you know, this is nice. Then we have left, right, text and image, text and image. Did I see only works on Elementor Pro? No, we have this on Divi. We're providing those templates for Elementor, for Divi, for Beaver Builder, for Gutenberg, for Thrive Theme, and Oxygen as well is coming soon. Same thing, you know, I'll give you the Beaver Builder one. You delete this section, there's a short tutorial, but this is how we can approve the layout and also gather the content. We'll see that in a second. But again, same concept, 3 titles, 3 headers with the icon and sometimes like this. Then we have a few hero sections and icons and so on, you know. If I'm gonna keep scrolling down, you will see we have some content areas with the sidebar. Sometimes we need the sidebar. Then we have testimonial sections, maybe like this, maybe like that. And grids is an integral part of every website. This could be blog posts, this could be products, maybe like this. This could be services, you know, this could be reviews. And of course, contact section or call to action at the end, right? And so you just go through and delete what you don't want. And I'm sure that you're gonna agree that taking this, what you're seeing here, to this is not gonna take more than 6 minutes. Tops, you know, just tuck, you delete and you got it. And you just repeat that process for the other pages of the website. What did we do here? We created a stage that allows us to build on top of what we did before, because on the previous stage, we created the pages that now we are using to insert those sections into. We systemized our way of building the entire page by just deleting the sections that we don't want, and we prepared our layout for design. So the next thing that we would do is like a home decorator would go inside and paint it all up nicely, change the pictures, change the content, set up the fonts, we're good to go. So on this stage, we want to accomplish two things, and I'm going to take us to here. So this is what we would define as the first revision, because here we're going to get them to approve the layout and give us the feedback that we need around the layout itself. But we're also going to gather the content as a by the way. So instead of, so a lot of, going back to gathering content, which is again, the biggest pain points in our industry. A lot of us will start with gathering the content from here. And I think some of you guys even said, we're starting to gather from here, right? Even before this, as soon as they call us, but just so you know, I need the content from you, right? I know that I said this to a few clients on the first initial call. But again, it's not in the reality. We're just scaring them off. And what we're doing is we're creating a play, we're killing the momentum of the project, because a lot of times we would even tell them that we don't agree to move to the next stage without getting the content. Which what happens is that we're doing a discovery call. Everyone is super positive. We're talking about the possibilities, the endless possibilities of their upcoming project, their upcoming website. The project is like at its highest at this stage. And then we tell them, cool, now go off for 2 to 4 weeks and provide the content. Boom, the project dies. You know, we're waiting for 2 to 4 weeks. There is no momentum building. And what happened is that they paid us 30 to 50%, which is usually the standard deposit that agencies would ask at the beginning. We asked for the money, we got paid, and then we sent them off to work without presenting anything, which is crazy. So here, what we did is we were able to create 2 small deliverables that are easy for us to do and help the client understand what we're going to build, gave them the visual representation of what is expected of them and the context. That's the word I was looking for. We gave them the context of what is expected of them when we're gathering the content, just by doing lorem ipsums on the different sections. And what you would find is that by presenting a customer something like this, you will never, you know how sometimes with this section specifically, you get like you're expecting in your mind that it will look like that, but then you get the content from the client and the first sentence is like five paragraphs. And this part is like 2 words. And then this one is like 2 sentences. And this is like a whole book, right? And like the whole balance is off because they can't picture what you picture in your mind. So here we're giving them the visual representation naturally, and you will see that it's going to happen automatically. Clients are going to match the length of what you're creating here. They're going to say, oh, okay, that's what I'm expected. So inside the comment, you're not going to get a massive block of text. Probably going to get just a few lines, right? Like 2 of those guys. And so on. So we're continuing down the path, gathering the content from every single section in there, gathering images. Yeah, here is the image that I want to have on this, replace with this one. What about this? Here's the image, you know, that use this image. And again, all the images went directly into the media folder, so we don't need to download from Dropbox or get the client convinced that they need to visit Dropbox or open an account if they don't have one, and then upload everything in there. Of course, then you need to log into Dropbox, the website, it's crazy. So the whole thing is just cut. When the client provides the image, you have it ready to work. Again, call to action. It's 3 words. Like, how far are they going to stretch the length of this section when they see that it's a button? They can really see that. Maya, we can't hear you. Think you have saying something? No. Okay. Cool. So we saw the gathering content and approving the layout of the site. Any questions so far before we move on to approving designs? See, if people are still engaged.
No question. Just wanted to say that you are absolutely correct when you say with this visual representation, the client will know what he can put
Yes.
in those squares, because as you said, Vito, clients think that in one part they can put like one sentence, in another like 3 sentences, and they don't know how much they make trouble for us, to fix that, like make it look nice with the sentences they want. They don't know what we see. So with this representation, they know what we see, and they can adjust their sentences accordingly. So it's really
Exactly.
nice.
Awesome. So so this is the most efficient way for us to get them to, like you're saying, just see what is expected. Because instead of sending a blank Google Doc and having them stare at a blank sheet and trying to figure out, or even worse, a lot of times you would send out spreadsheets that describe like the different lines, right? So you have like a title that this is gonna be the H1, and then you give them the place to insert the content for that, and they just look at it and go like this, So here it's nice, it's laid out, it's visual, and it's clear for them to really see what is expected at any given stage. Right, next up, we're gonna move to development and design. So why not jump directly onto here, which I know a lot of you guys are doing, and then facing scope creep, and also facing a lot of places where the clients don't know how to provide the feedback. So I would like to kind of connect this to, and you saw that rabbit hole that we're taking the client through, and I just want to show you this the flow of how they're going from here to here, right? And now everything makes sense because they've been through a journey that allows them to see what you did, instead of just dropping them into a fully designed page that they might notice that the box shadow is broken. Right? I noticed the box shadow is broken, but like when they are just dropped into a fully designed page, they don't have the reality to look at this. So when we're looking at a website, at a fully designed website, we see the matrix. We don't see the website itself. We see color schemes, we see layouts, we see content blocks, we see plugins used straight out the gate. We see that, oh, it's that theme that I was using a couple of years ago. You recognize it by the style of the entire thing, because we can see through the website. We can see the matrix. When they look at it, they see a rectangular box that is flat. It's two-dimensional in their eyes. And it's fair enough. When a doctor looks at an X-ray, they see it in 3D. They see the matrix in that X-ray. When we look at an X-ray, it just looks like white kind of blurry items on a black kind of sheet, right? And that is exactly the experience that our clients are experiencing when they're looking at a fully designed website straight away. So a lot of times this is what happens when we're expecting them to provide feedback. It's like the doctor showing you the X-ray and telling you, so do you see what's wrong? Do you see what the problem is? And you're like, what are you talking about? Right? So we want to take them through a journey to allow them to accept what's going on here. And then they can see those nice waves that we created here on the background. They can understand that we've worked on those icons because it came from that layout of those 3 icons. They can see how the website evolved from being just an overview structure to a layout to a fully designed page, and which is going to make the entire process a lot simpler for them to digest. And again, the process of taking the client from start to finish is, as you can see, a lot of it is not really for us, because if we need to build a website, we can just do it. We know how it looks from the first 15 minutes of talking to someone. But they don't. And so we need to take them through a journey of understanding that. Now, I think it's pretty clear here as well what this, so there we're going to get to, we have those 2 additional revision rounds, which this case is basically a big one. And then below we're going to have just final touch-ups. After that, we're going to go to launch and we're just going to continue with that flow over to the support. If you have a question, click the plus icon, let me know what you want on the website, which I can show you some, I go into here in my morning. Let's look at Charles, guy that we talked about before, and he had this massive e-com website, right? So this is a good example from today. Please change to this, right? This is in Hebrew. He wanted to change a piece of text here. So basically, I know that he was talking about that because I can see it from the image. And that's the entire scope of the message that he sent over. And it was, the flow was just this. I'll take this, done. Hey, Charles, this is done. Yeah, no back and forth whatsoever. He created this 20 hours ago, and we started working on this, and it was done straight away. No back and forth, no questions, no additional struggles to do anything, because we have the clarity that we need to really go through each one of those different items. And right, so now I just want to wrap up with some time scales. Do we have some time for this, Maya?
Sure, we do. I think maybe we can also leave some window for a question as well. Maybe there are certain questions like this part that we already did. So are there any? I have a question. I have a question. What about the client? How does the client get this access? I mean, is it
right?
He also has a license, or how does it work?
So basically what you do is you install a plugin on the client's website that syncs everything into the agency dashboard. And during the build, we're working on Jenny website name, right? So it's like a staging environment. We have what we call guest mode, which means the client doesn't need to log in at all. They just need to visit what they paid for, which is the website itself. And all of the work is done there. You're working as the agency from the dashboard, and they're working from the website itself that they paid for.
So basically, if you take one license access, that means that you can constantly install and uninstall the plugins from different websites and just move it around as you change the client or project, right?
Yes, even though I would say that it's that the support is where really the magic comes, because that's where you're really getting the two-word messages like we saw from Charles now. But I got everything that I need to actually complete the task instead of sending back a message to him. Wait, what text are you talking about, or all of those kind of stuff. So what we see is that, and I can even show some kind of stuff here. I'm gonna go. Clients that are using this on care plans, users, our users that are using this on care plan agencies are just, this guy is saving 3 hours a day, literally 3 hours a day, just on out of his 7 hours day. Jeffrey has Maintain Press. He's doing this. Is doing it in the same, he has like just care plans, and he has a few hundreds clients on care plans, and he was just shocked. Like we have a video of him saying, I can't believe that I'm going to have breakfast with my dad on a work day because I just have time, with a few hundred of his clients there. And the team is just taking care of the whole stuff. And like you're never gonna see anything like I've never seen anything like this when it comes to customers, talking, if I'm gonna search best, there's like seven different best tool I ever bought. Amount of time that you're saving, this tool is crazy, great work, perhaps one of the best investment I've made, highly recommend, a must have for every consultant, it's insane. And it really is 50 to 80% of what you're doing is gone. An amazing, well-needed platform. Yeah, it just goes on and on. We got Troy here, saves hours of back and forth, so easy. I'm in love, best tool ever. We have Bridget, probably know Bridget, right, Maya? Adam is also a good customer for a long time. absolutely reduce the amount of time spent. Too large website, record time, instant, right? So it just keeps going and going, you know.
Thank you very much. I think this is really, really required and necessary in our industry. I mean, although people are doing miracles in other ways by producing new products and doing new services or baking bread or perhaps making the best possible car or flying cars or whatever, still they need a help in communication. And they also need to understand, I mean, they're professionals in their part of the work, but they don't understand communication in marketing in general, maybe
Right.
just from a social media point of view, but they don't understand the amount of hard work that is gone beyond. What I've seen also is that you have a billing, actually, our counting ability as well. So for agency, it will be a very good, so an agency can get a report for a client, like how many hours?
So what we have like what, so this is another thing that we automated completely. So in my agency, every Friday, we would have spent 30 minutes creating a report for each client, you know, and just on an email, looking into what they did and what we're going to work on next. And just staying in touch with the clients created a lot more work for us, which of course means a lot more revenue for the agency. And what we did here is we just created a checkbox, and it just creates an automated weekly report that sends to the client what we did this week, what we're going to work on next week. And it just looks at the statuses, as you could see from the different, you know, if we're going to the boards, it just looks at this and gives them that overview in an email that that sends out every Friday at 4 p.m. so that they know you're on it. You get their accountability, and you know there is a relationship that is building, because it's not enough to just take their $50 to $150 a month and then just click update once a month. You want to really build a relationship, because that's how you generate revenue. To me, and I think that this is a big part about care plans that a lot of people are missing. A lot of times we're looking at this as this is going to give me the recurring revenue, the bread and butter. So I'm going to have a few hundred or a couple of thousand pounds or dollars a month that I can rely on. But actually, it's just a stepping stone for a lot more if you use it properly. It's like the dentists, you know. So the dentist would tell you, come to me every 3 months or 6 months to do a checkup. But on the checkup, they're like, you know what? I actually have an electric toothbrush here that costs 200 pounds. And just looking at your teeth, I think that you need to buy that. The next time you come over is like, well, you actually done a great job with the toothbrush. But now, how about we do like a whitening? There's a brand new product that we can do like with whitening now. And it's just 500 more pounds and you're going to do that. So they're using those those meetings every 3 to 6 months as a way to upsell more stuff. And in our industry, because it's so rapidly changing, it's so easy, you know. Privacy, just last year we had, or 2 years ago, we had this, we had the GDPR, and then we have other like cookies policies that are coming in. A year before that, we had SSLs coming in. A year before that, we had mobile optimizations coming in. Now we have speed optimization because Google is changing something and mobile first. So there's always stuff to upsell if you're using this as a benchmark instead of as the final goal.
Awesome. Are there any more questions?
Yes, I will have actually a few questions. I don't know if you're going, Victor, are going to talk about the rebranding and the new pricing?
Yes. We can, yes. So we're rebranding, and the reason why we're doing that is we launched 18 months ago as a standalone plugin that was installed on the website, and that was that got us to a certain result, and people were happy. But we really realized that we need to have that platform to consolidate everything together. And as you saw, the automated reports, the auto logins, all of those kind of stuff, and time tracking, and all of these kind of cool, the Kanban boards and things like that, just as an agency management platform. I can even show you one of the cool things that we're building now. This is the new rebrand, but I'm going to show you this guy. So this is going to be the control panel as of next week inside the inside the agency dashboard that is going to give you the time, that the average response time that you're spending on a ticket, how long does it take to resolve something, the top 5 clients, because we know that 80% or 20% of our clients are wasting 80% of our time. And so we want to identify those top 5 clients that are taking more of our time, so we can actually charge for it instead of keeping them on the same plans as most of us usually do. So all of this is gonna like really take things even to the next level. And that is along with a lot of other stuff that are coming. We're talking about the site mapping tool that you need to create the pages and then you can use. So we have a new site mapping tool coming soon where you can map everything out visually. One button, it creates everything inside the WordPress and the menus, so you don't need to click add new 1,000 times. You know how we do that? Add new on the pages, and then you go back and do about, home, contact for each one, and then you go update, 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 right? Crazy. So a lot of those things are also coming on with this new rebrand. Now, the reason why we did that is because we're no longer a plugin. So WP, the term inside WP FeedBack is kind of signaling to people that it's just a plugin, but it's really it's removing Dropbox and time tracking tools and project management systems and support desks and like G Suite that some people have. We have a graphic feedback tool, so it's like an Envision thing on images that you can do the same thing that you saw on the website, but on images themselves if you're doing graphic design or branding on those kind of stuff. So it's more of a platform to manage a web agency than anything else. And and that's a thing. Now, when it comes to pricing, the prices that we have now are crazy. It costs like a tiny WooCommerce add-on. I also have other plugins from back in the agency that we're selling just an add-on, just like a tiny button, one button functionality for the same price that we're selling everything that you guys are seeing here. So the prices are gonna triple over the next couple of months. So now is an amazing time to come on board because we're not going to increase the prices on users that are already in, so we're grandfathering all of the existing plans, but joining then it's just going to cost realistically like it's supposed to do, like you would pay to Basecamp or Zendesk or something like that.
Okay.
So
Sorry.
So I just want to ask, if we buy a license now, does this mean that we're going to get CMS in the end? I mean, since we're gonna have you guys will rebrand, so the access will actually be to this. To
the new website. We're migrating everyone over.
All right. Good to know.
Yeah, but again, like the single license is not gonna get you far when we're dealing with multiple projects. The idea is if you're running if that's what you need, then that's what you should get. But if you're running a business, then probably one website is not gonna be enough. You need to think about your own agency and how many clients, ongoing clients you have, because really it's gonna take 50 to 80% from every client that you're dealing with.
One more question about white labeling. So you said that there will be reports that you can send to clients weekly or so on. Will those reports be able to be white labeled?
Yes. So everything like the product is divided into 2 parts. We have the agency dashboard and the client interface plugin, right? What is installed on their website. The client interface plugin is fully white labeled. So like you can change the logo and have your own logo. You can even use the logo to be clickable. So you can send them to an upsell page, showing them additional services in front of their eyes, maybe SEO, maybe, whatever other stuff that you may be doing for them. The colors as well. If you change the color, get back. Let's go to settings. And see, I have my agency logo. This is my own agency, and the black. So let's change this to this guy. Right, and now everything is white labeled according to my own branding. If I'm gonna open this here, I can even remove the mention that I have there. I'm gonna bring this back 1 sec. Get that logo at the bottom as well. Yeah, it's gonna take me to wherever I want. Yeah, you can just do, and the whole thing applies to the email templates as well. Your logo is there when they need to log into the website. So let me, after the build, let me take you to incognito. The experience is that you're inviting them to work on the website, and that is like a game changer on its own for a lot of clients. That when you land on it, am I logged in already? No, yeah. So you see, I have my own logo and the colors that we just chose. So we're basically inviting them to collaborate with us. And I can also show you some of the cool stuff that we have coming for the client interface. Let me just take this. Sec. Yeah, I'm just working on this new version. I also trick the cloud the way, with videos and whatever. So like when presented with this for the first time, they see what they, we take them through the journey that most of us would never do, or I never did. Yeah, I think it was still kind of working on some quirks here. Do I have some kind of yeah, but there's loads. I don't think that I have. Maybe I have some kind of a screenshot to share with you. But we're basically adding a bottom bar that is giving the progress of the event itself, of the project itself. I think that I have something here to share with you. If I'll find it 1 sec. Somewhere. Now, I guess you guys are gonna stay in suspense around the UI of the client interface, but there's all kinds of cool stuff that we're adding there to the bottom bar. We're really expanding on this update with a few other goodies in there that will keep just communicating the things that needs to happen back to the client, so they have it where they need it.
Sounds awesome, Vito. One more question. So
yes, please.
With one license, with the license for one website, can you have a staging site and the final site, the product?
No, it's one website is one domain. So it's basically every subdomain needs its own kind of a site itself to be used there.
Okay, thanks.
But again, like if we're like the one website plan is just for people to see what I'm talking about, but it's never enough. Like it shouldn't be enough. If you're running a business, like if you're stopping at one website, it's not a business. It's just helping a friend. You wanna have 50 websites to have a business, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to look at that image here.
So that would be all.
Awesome.
Thank you, Igor. Anyone else?
Oh, I did find it. Let me show this to you guys if I still have my screen. Yeah, so we have that kind of new layout that's coming here to the bottom, approving single pages fully, as well as communicating visually the progress of the tasks that are being opened on the page itself. So this changes to green as you're progressing and as you're collaborating together. So the client's always in the know, again, from what needs to be done or how far along are we.
This is awesome. This is awesome. I don't know about others, but I would like to hear other opinion, since we had a poll here running, and the poll said that out of 10 people, 7 never used it. So I just have another question now that you guys actually saw what Vito is doing and what he's proposing to use. Would you use it? Jenny?
Yeah, would love to answer any questions around this. I know that some people think that the clients will never use it, or some, we're concerned that the client, my clients won't use it. So I can assure you that it's not going to be the case. And you can, again, it's just the reviews. The clients are going to love it. It's just going to empower them to do something that they wanted to do, but never had the tool to do.
I bought
No,
the,
no.
sorry, I bought
Go
the
ahead.
one license to try it out on
Nice,
a
thanks, Lucy.
new
Thanks, Jenny.
customer. And I was going to go forward depending how well that went.
Awesome.
Not
Yeah, I think that's a good way to go about it. And yeah, and we're also doing those training sessions every week. So now that you are with the family, inside your account, you're going to find swipe files for sending the clients in to the system at any stage of the project, as well as if they are resisting in some way. And I would love to see you on our sessions, every week, every Wednesday, 4 p.m. UK time is our coaching session where we come together very similar to this, talking to, learning from each other and just discussing different topics around delivering websites.
I have to
Great
get
thing.
the WooCommerce London lot first. Then
Yeah.
we're still talking until 4 sometimes.
Yeah, it does happen. It does happen sometimes. Is there integration with G Suite so I can easily access files already stored on Drive? No, not really. But there is an integration through Zapier. But again, like the files that if you're using Drive for yourself, that's cool. I have my own cloud service for my own use. Don't push your clients to upload files to Drive. First of all, it's illogical to get them to understand yet another tool, and they're just gonna, we're just introducing complexity without thinking about it. So keep things nice and simple, Charles. If it's for you, then go for it. But for clients, I would really keep it as simple as straightforward for them as possible, so they can just accomplish the task without thinking about it.
Nice.
Right.
I have a question for you, Vito.
Please.
What about photos? I mean, photos come with different quality and different size. And I mean, what do you advise to clients?
Right. So first of all, you take what you get when it comes to photos from clients. That's what I learned over the years. And sometimes you would go and find something on Pixels, or or buy a couple of pictures from Shutterstock if needed. Even in some cases, we sent photographers to take some pictures if the project required it. When it comes to if we are taking the picture from the client, a lot of times they will upload a massive image, right? Like an 8 megabyte picture, and it's just nonsense. So what we did is internally, we are minifying and optimizing all the images that are being uploaded on our side. So when the client is uploading an 8 megabyte image, it's gonna automatically scale down to 2500 pixels wide, which is what you would want for the widest section of a website. And we have an internal image optimization mechanism that takes them through like Smoosh or Tiny PNG, or if you're familiar with those type of tools. That basically does what you need to do. It's like taking it to Photoshop and saving for web. I know a lot of people still go through that process of every image that is being given by the client. You upload it to Photoshop, you open it in Photoshop, save for web, and then use that image, and then, or maybe sometimes even take that again to Tiny PNG. So again, we ate this complication completely. It doesn't exist anymore, this nonsense. You just use it.
So now, from creating a website that it's basically up to 2 months with this tool,
yes,
how many hours actually?
Right. So what we're seeing is between a standard website that takes between 5 to 8 weeks. Users are reducing this to 5 to 10 days. That's the flow that we're seeing. And that is not just because of the tool, it's also because of implementation. And like Charles said, it's a mindset shift, and understanding that a project can take 5 to 10 days. And I think, I don't know if Devin is still with us. Devin wasn't there. I think he already opted out. But seems like Devin already understood that this is really realistic for a project to take that long instead of weeks and weeks of weeks. Because again, really, most of those weeks is just us sitting, waiting for someone else to take action on something that they don't know how to do, and they are sitting in their office saying, why the hell isn't this guy doing anything, right? So this is kind of this is the reality that happened in our industry. But okay, so if we have that question, I'm just gonna take you quickly through the time frames, or if we need to wrap up, Maya?
I think it's the time.
Kind of, yeah, okay.
I think it's the time to wrap up. I mean, people
No problem.
really slowly, and I'm sure they have lives and they need to eat something and survive and breathe, perhaps.
Yes, that's true.
So I believe it's the time to wrap up.
Yeah, but it was a pleasure, really.
Well, there's places to go tonight, isn't there?
Not
All this
much.
partying we've got to do.
Yeah, well, it was really, I hope you guys had a great time, and I hope you learned something new. I was very ecstatic when I was able to actually reach Vito and get him to speak to us today, because as I said, besides being time saving, it's also nerve saving and improving the quality of life. So just to wrap up, if you'd like to improve the quality of life, here is GoDaddy Pro, and here is Atarim now.
Yes, and they work seamlessly together. You know, like it's such a completing tools, because GoDaddy Pro, what it does is it tackles the technical aspect of delivering those, like the time wasting stuff on the technical aspect, and we're dealing with the communication and collaboration aspect of it.
Correct.
So it really ties in nicely together.
Correct. So if you use these tools, actually, you're gonna get young. You're gonna be younger longer, and you're gonna be happy longer. So basically, these two tools are really great. Thank you very much for joining tonight. I will try to organize an email with the link for this session if you'd like to hear it one more time, or perhaps rehearse some of the things that you've heard. In the meantime, you can find me on Twitter at any time, and please, I hope to see you. Thanks, Maciek. Thanks, Maciek. I hope you will actually subscribe to one of the licenses. So, and I hope to see you then in 2 weeks. Thank you very much, and it was a pleasure talking to you all.
Thank you, everyone. Yeah, Charles, please
Vito.
visit us. I see Charles is writing here. Let me just drop a link.
Yes, please include the link where we can purchase the license. Yes, please. Oh,
There you go.
you're not a seller at all. You don't have the link.
I do.
Yeah,
There it
with a
is.
discount, please.
With the discount.
Actually, there is a GoDaddy Pro offer on place, I believe. If it's still
Correct.
Let me just make sure that
Correct.
the right one.
Correct.
Hold on.
You know, we should do a collaboration with Elementor Pro, GoDaddy hosting, and your plugin as well. So
GoDaddy Pro.
Yeah.
No, GoDaddy Pro.
Yeah.
GoDaddy Pro is not a hosting, but GoDaddy Pro is a dashboard for technical maintenance of the website. So yeah. So if you have
Those three tools are really the entire stack that you would need in your arsenal, really.
Sure. And what I like about GoDaddy Pro, that it has the preview, so you can see what happens to your website physically before and after. So if you want to press the update button, or you want to just hang out before something, happens, and with you actually organizing all of this, it's amazing. So saving time, staying, living longer. Oh, okay, here it is, GoDaddy 20.
Yeah. 20% off of there. I use this on the checkout, and that's gonna sort you out there.
Well, I'm going to send an email to everyone who were in this session just to
Vito again.
this, because I'm sure Charles has got it, but I'm sure that Devon would probably be the person also to share this information. Thank you, everyone. Jenny, Elizabeth, Vito, Igor, Charles.
Thank you.
Thank you, Maya.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
See you. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.